Hey guys, and welcome to the potential FIFA 16 AC Milan squad. We're going to go through all the positions and all the potential players that they can sign for the next season, and hopefully we'll get back to our old glory days and challenge for the title and all kinds of prizes. But we're going to start off with the goalkeeper. And for me, there's no question about it. It has to be Diego Lopez. He's one hell of a goalkeeper, very experienced, still solid at his age. He's now 33, I think. But he can still get the job done. A very, very decent goalkeeper in my opinion. In right back, I could have gone with Abate because he wasn't the worst player last season, but I still think we should go for the younger, talented players like Witsel. He had to play left back last season, but I want him to play in his natural position in the next season with Mihajlovic as the coach. I think that will happen. He has to be our right back. And on the other side of the pitch, in left back, we've got Siqueira. Now, this is not a confirmed signing. This is not a transfer that has happened. He has been rumoured to join AC Milan, which will hopefully happen because we haven't had a proper left back in ages. We always had to play players out of position to fill in that spot. But if we can get a real left back in, and Siqueira seems like a solid signing, then we're sorted for that left back position. In the centre of the fence, I had to make a few tough decisions, but I went with Alex on the right side because although his pace is not up to standards and he might be slow, he still has the experience and the strength to get the job done in centre back in my opinion. And next to the strong, experienced Alex, you want a young defender that can learn from him. And we have been linked with Romagnoli. Mihajlovic is a fan of Alessio Romagnoli, and hopefully we can sign him up. We're in negotiations with Roma. It hasn't happened at the time of this recording, but it could happen. And I think he would be an awesome signing for us. I could have put Felipe Mexes there because he scored that wonder goal against Inter, but I just want to have one young centre-back in there next to Alex. I do believe Nigel de Jong is going to be our new captain for the next season. Montolivo will lose his captaincy to this guy, the real warrior in CDM. I love the guy, I honestly do. He always performs no matter what. He always fights for the team. He's a brilliant CDM. He's 30 now. He still has a few years left in him, and I think he'll make for a brilliant captain. Axel Witsel is the third player in this team that hasn't signed for AC Milan just yet, but we have been rumoured with him for over a couple of weeks now. Will we sign him? Will we not? I'm not sure. Zenit are being really stingy with the asking price for Axel Witsel, but I do hope we can snap him up because he's a brilliant midfielder and he could help us strengthen that midfield. On the other side of central midfield, I went for Jack Bonaventura just because I think Montolivo hasn't performed last season, and Bonaventura is a very versatile player who does always put in the effort, and I think he could work well with De Jong and Witsel. For the front three, I went for Jeremy Menez in the cam role, in the supporting role. He was probably our best player last season. He scored goals, something that no one else could do for AC Milan. So for me, he should be in the team. Although he has been rumoured with a move away, I'm hoping he can stay and help us get to the goals that we want to reach next season. Up front is going to be new signing Carlos Bacca, who did exceptionally well with Sevilla. He's a proven goal scorer. He can get the job done up front, I think. I do believe in this guy. He may be 29. He may not be the world-class player that Jackson Martinez was, that we were linked with, but he's still a solid player and he can do well for us. Next to him, I went for Luis Adriano, another new signing for AC Milan. We really bolstered the attack. Luis Adriano is a solid player. Is he world class? Probably not, but once again, these are good players that can get the job done. Now, of course, that was my starting 11. If you disagree, then let me know in the comments down below. But now I'm going to go through the bench and reserves because we have quite a strong squad in depth. So we're going to go through all the reserve players, starting with Alessio Cerci. He wasn't good last season, let's face it, but under Mihajlovic, I really believe he can step up his game and maybe play an important role. Also on the bench, but potentially a starter for AC Milan next season, and Bayern Yang. He has impressed in the pre-season friendly so far. He looks like a good player. We always knew he had the talent, but I hope Mihajlovic can get the best out of these young players, and Niang could finally become one of the true first team players, hopefully. And former captain Montolivo will have to prove himself if he wants to stay in the team, because if we sign Witsel, I really don't think there is room for him. He'll have to step his game up, but once again, you know, the coach is there to put everyone in their place. I think he's going to do great, and hopefully Montolivo can play a role because we all know he's a brilliant player if he wants to be. Nocerino also deserves a spot on the bench for me. I really liked him in his previous passage at AC Milan. He got loaned out. He's now back. I think he's a good player. He just needs to get the chances. He needs to have some playing time. He's an all-round brilliant midfielder. He works hard for the team. I really like him. I don't know what it is about him, but I really like him. And now the big one. AC Milan have been linked with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. I'm going to talk a little bit more about this one. He already played for us a few years ago and he's been linked with us, but I'm not too sure if that'll happen. For me, that is more of a bullshit rumor. It could happen. I mean, he is linked and Ibrahimovic reportedly wants to have a move away from Paris Saint-Germain, but I don't think it will be to AC Milan. If it is, he's very welcome. But I personally don't think he's the player that we need. He's world class, yes, but we need improvements somewhere else. We've signed 2 new strikers. 3 seems like a bit too much. But nonetheless, Ibrahimovic is still a world class player and I would not complain if he joined our squad. If Siqueira from Atletico Madrid is to join and Decilio plays in right back, that means Abate will lose his spot. Although he didn't do too bad last season, I do believe he's going to be a reserve player if we sign Siqueira. And for the reserve goalkeeper, I'm going to go for Donnarumma instead of Abbiati. Why? This guy is young and he has done exceptionally well in the friendly against Real Madrid. So for me, he deserves to get ahead of Abbiati in the picking order. And then we move on to the reserves. Paletta, Homna, Suso, Poli, Mexes, Verdi, Bertolacci and Mastor. Of course, Hachim Mastor, one of the greatest talents at the moment in football. I think it's still too early for him to really show himself on the big stage in the first team of AC Milan. I don't think it will happen this season, but maybe next season. And maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I really want to see this guy get some playing time and do well. But for me, Honda, Suso and Poli will probably still be ahead of him in the picking order. Or maybe Mihailovic will surprise us all. He seems like the perfect coach for this team. And as I've mentioned before, we have got a lot of squad depth. Bertolacci, Mexes, Zapata, Antonelli, Matri are not even getting mentioned in the potential lineup. So that just proves how strong we are. We also signed a few young players like Jose Mauri and Simone Verdi, who on FIFA looks to be a fantastic player. Will that be like that in real life? I'm not sure. But the question I'm going to ask you guys is, if you disagree with my lineup, what would you do? And who else is AC Milan rumoured with? And as a final question, I want you guys to let me know, where do you think AC Milan will finish in the league? For me personally, I think we will have a better team than last season, without a doubt. We have a better coach, an experienced manager in Mihailovic. I think he's going to do good things with the squad, and hopefully we can sign a few more players like Witsel, Romagnoli and Siqueira. If we do that, I really truly believe we can get at least top 3 in the next season, and that is probably optimistic. But let me know your opinions in the comments down below. Am I right? Am I wrong? I'm always reading every single comment. I want to hear your guys' opinion on this. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.